Money, it's everywhere. It runs our lives, our food, our homes, the entire power structure of the world. But what if it all just disappeared? Let's play that out. Let's do a little thought experiment and see where a world completely without money would actually lead us.
Okay, so just picture this. You wake up. You start going about your day. Everything seems pretty normal on the surface. But you've got this weird feeling that something is just fundamentally wrong. Because what if tomorrow morning, yeah, you heard me right, every single dollar, every euro, every bit of crypto, every number in your bank account instantly becomes worthless. The whole concept just, poof, gone. And look, we're not talking about a stock market crash here. This is a complete and total system wipe. The cash you've got on your wallet, it's just paper now. The bank down the street, it's just a building full of useless files. And that salary you work for, it's just a meaningless number on a screen. So this is the big question, right? Does society just crumble into absolute chaos? Or do we actually manage to build something better from the ashes? A kind of utopia, maybe? Well, the answer might not be what you think. All right, let's dive into the immediate aftermath, the first few hours. What does that even look like when the system we've built our entire lives on just evaporates? The crazy part is how fast it would all fall apart. It's not a slow decline, it's a free fall. In the first hour, boom, the system freezes. ATMs go dark. Your credit card is just a piece of plastic. By hour 6, the real panic sets in, as everyone realizes the very idea of buying something is gone. And that kicks off this massive, catastrophic chain reaction. By hour 12, the trucks stop rolling, because hey, drivers aren't getting paid. And within a single day, total gridlock. The global economy is frozen solid. But here's the thing about people. After that initial shock, we adapt. We always do. To survive, you'd have to fall back on a much, much older way of doing things, one that could maybe build a whole new kind of society. And this leads to maybe the most fundamental question of all, the one society absolutely has to answer. Doctors, farmers, engineers, their paychecks are gone. So what gets them out of bed in the morning? Why would you go to work? I mean, really, if there's no paycheck, why bother? Well, the answer, at least on a small local scale, is something called bartering, direct trade. We're not talking about numbers in a bank account anymore. We're talking about real stuff, tangible value. It all boils down to what can you do for me right now and what can I do for you? And this is where you see the huge shift in thinking. See, right now, you work for a salary, which is really just an abstract promise of value. But in this new world, nah. You trade a real skill, like say you can fix a generator, directly for a real immediate need, like getting food for your family. The exchange is direct, it's instant, and it's based purely on what people actually need. So fast forward a bit. These little barter communities start to stabilize, and something pretty amazing begins to take shape. And honestly, on the surface, it looks a lot like the utopia people have always dreamed about. Think about it. Your job is no longer about making a profit. It's about having a purpose. People contribute because they want to help the community or because it earns them status and respect. Vital things like technology and housing get distributed based on who needs them, not who can afford them. Education becomes free for everyone. It's a society driven by contribution, not currency. I mean, it sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? A world with no greed, no financial inequality, just people helping people. But yeah, you knew there was a but coming, right? There's a huge hidden problem lurking just under the surface of this perfect little world. And here it is. This is the dark twist in our moneyless world. Because even if we got rid of money, we didn't get rid of the human desire for power and control. This is where it all starts to get really tricky. I mean, you have to ask some tough questions. Who gets to decide who gets the nice house? Who's in charge of the community's food supply or medicine? And what about the rare stuff, the things that can't be shared equally? Who gets those? And the answer is influence. That becomes the new currency. Money is gone, but it's been replaced by something way more complicated and, honestly, way more dangerous: power. Your ability to get things is no longer about your bank account. It's about your charisma, your connections, your ability to persuade or to intimidate. And what happens then? Well, it's pretty predictable. You get a new hierarchy. And this one might be even more brutal than the one based on wealth.
The groups who control the essential resources, the food, the water, the security, they start to call the shots for everyone else. It's a pattern we've seen again and again throughout human history. We haven't gotten rid of inequality, we've just swapped one form of it for another. Okay, so we've been on quite a journey, right? From total collapse to a kind of utopia, and then back down into this new power struggle. And it all brings us to the real takeaway here, the heart of the whole issue. This is so important. Just let it sink in for a second. See, money itself, it's just a tool. It's a system we invented to manage things. The real problem, the greed, the conflict, the drive for power, that's all rooted in us, in human behavior. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? You can change the entire system, get rid of every last dollar, but if you don't address the underlying human tendencies, the same old problems are just going to pop right back up, just, wearing a different costume. All we did was trade the power of the dollar for the power of the strongest.
So after all that, I have to ask you, knowing how it could all play out, the good parts and the really, really bad parts, is this a world you'd actually want to live in? Or, and this is the tough one, is money, with all of its massive problems, actually the lesser of two evils? Maybe it's the best system we have for managing our own messy human nature. It's something to think about, for sure.